welcome to another edition of Coffee Break Sports. I am your sports barista, Rod the Magnificent. Welcome to the break room. Welcome. Come on in, sit down, have a seat, have a cup of coffee while we talk some sports, some NFL. Hit those links, hit those descriptions, hit the subscribe, hit all of that stuff down low in the description box so that you can follow all things Coffee Break Sports and also my family network, Coffee and Beats. And in this particular side episode, I'm going to be talking about this upcoming matchup between the Chicago Bears and the Washington Commanders, which features Caleb Williams and Marcus Mariota. Listen, I'm looking forward to this game. As a Bears fan, I love me some Chicago Bears football this year. I cannot argue with 4-2. We've been going through some very, very putrid years here in Chicago since that 2018 season where we went to the playoffs and lost because of the double doink and all that. You guys know the whole story of that if you follow the NFL. But here we had potentially a big matchup coming up between two former Heisman Trophy winners in Caleb Williams and Jayden Daniels. But as we all know, as of this recording, Jayden Daniels has suffered a rib injury in the previous game that they played against the Panthers, where they won easily. Marcus Mariota came in, played exceptionally well. Now the question is, will Jayden Daniels be healthy enough to play in this upcoming game? Well, according to news reports, it's looking like he's going to be week to week. Unfortunately, it's looking like the Bears are going to have to play the Washington Commanders without their new star quarterback, which kind of put a damper on the whole flexing of the schedule thing, even though I think they're going to keep it at the time slot because the Bears are going to generate money anyway. Bears fans are everywhere in the United States, so it's still a good game to watch nationally. These are two teams that are really good in their division. The Washington Commanders are a threat to winning their division, whereas the Bears are a threat to competing in their division, in an already very tough division featuring the Minnesota Vikings and the Detroit Lions and also the Green Bay Packers. So the Bears need to keep on pace, and I've been saying this all along this season about the Bears' schedule. This part right here, this game between the Washington Commanders and the Cardinals coming up after this are two of the biggest games on the schedule for the Bears leading up to the latter part of their schedule where they're going to be playing mostly their division rivals. And so you have to win these next two games. You have to. Leading into the Patriots game, I'm sure they can win that one, but this Washington game is very important. And now with Jayden out, you got Marcus Mariota, who's still a formidable quarterback, ladies and gentlemen. Let's not just sit here as Bears fans. I'm just talking to you guys. Don't think that this is going to be a walk in the park matchup now that Jayden Daniels is not playing. Marcus Mariota has playoff experience. He's won some playoff games, and he didn't pan out in Tennessee during his tenure there. He's still formidable backup that can come in and lead a team and manage the game in the way that you want a backup quarterback to manage the game. Still not sure what Brisker's status is as of this recording, but I think he's leaning towards playing. We'll see. But this defense is loaded, ladies and gentlemen. Like, they have weapons all over the place. And yes, Terry McLaurin is one of the most underrated wide receivers in the NFL. Very underrated. But he hasn't gone up against Jalen Johnson yet. And that's going to be a matchup that we're going to have to keep our eye on. And I'm sure they're going to move him around. I'm sure they're going to move McLaurin around the field a little bit just to try not to just have him locked in on Jalen Johnson. But we'll see what the Bears do to adjust to that. I still think the Bears secondary is the best secondary in the NFL. I think the only concern with this matchup for me, the thing that I'm worried about the most is the running game of the Washington Commanders. And I think that was been my biggest concern, even if Jayden Daniels did play. I just think that they have two of the most perfect running backs that you can possibly have in the backfield with Robinson, who's a bruiser. He doesn't go down on the first hit. He has good speed. He's just a very tough, tooth and nails running back. And then you have Eckler, who is very effective in the passing game. Kind of reminds you of DeAndre Swift a little bit. Like, they have similar styles where if you throw a short pass to them, they can turn something short into something explosive down the field. A 5-yard pass can turn into a 40-yard gain. You know, they have a very formidable rushing attack, and that's the one thing that I am worried about going into this matchup against the Chicago Bears. But I think the Bears win this one 24-17. I think Caleb Williams is going to play well in this game. I know this is going to be a defense that's going to test him. It's going to be a defense that's going to challenge him. They have very good coaching behind their defense, and so they're not going to fall for some of the things that defenses previously that the Bears have beaten and fallen for. But this is the matchup where you need to see where your franchise quarterback or your future franchise quarterback is in Caleb Williams, and I believe that Caleb is going to come in and outplay Marcus Mariota. And even if Jaden played, I know they said week to week, but I'm going to fight through it, and they go ahead and let him play. Remember, Washington, be careful. Remember what happened with RG3 when you guys tried to force him to play even though he was hurt. Saw how that turned out. Don't make that same mistake twice. And I'm not saying this as a Bears fan. I'm just saying this as a NFL fan and a Jaden Daniels fan, because I like him. We'll have an opportunity to play Caleb Williams again in the future, whether it's this year or both teams make it to the playoffs, or next year if the schedule falls where they'll have another matchup in store. But other than that, man, don't rush it. Just sit back, take your lumps, get better, and try to help the Washington Commanders make the playoffs. But I think the Bears are going to win this game, and that is my pick, and I'm sticking to it with this premier matchup at 325. Thank you for tuning in to this short episode. I tried to keep it as short as possible of Coffee Break Sports. I am your sports barista, Rod the Magnificent. When it comes to coffee, when it comes to sports, stay grounded for life. See you guys on the next episode of Possibly Coffee and Beats. Peace.